So welcome to the Modern Day Proverbs 31 Summit. And I'm so excited to have with us today my friend and mentor, Jen Johnson, who's going to share with us a little bit about her journey as a Proverbs 31 woman. And so this is probably, we've had a few people speaking, and I know like a lot of you have given me great feedback about things you'd love to hear. And so I'm excited to dig deeper into this amazing Proverbs 31 woman as we look at her context in this day and age. And so, Jen, I just wanted to ask if you could share a little bit about your story and some of your journey, where you're from, what you're doing now, and yeah, a little bit about your life.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here and as a fellow Proverbs 31 woman. And I know, Molly, that you had kind of dedicated a couple of verses to a couple of us as we were coming on here that I can talk about as well. But I'm Jen Johnson, and I am a proud mom of two that are entering their teenage years. So this is a whole new season of life over here as we're embarking on that journey. I'm also an online marketing strategist. I love helping people learn how to find, use their voice, and spread their message through content on social media to be able to go out and do the work that you've been called to do and be able to communicate that effectively to the audience you're looking to serve. So I've been in the online space since around 2014, is when I'm going on 9 years here. And it's been a journey. It's been, honestly, sometimes a love-hate battle through the process. And I've learned so much through the process and, have really come to find that it's really more about the character build than it is the business build and what God's looking to do, not only through you, but in you as a woman of God, and how you can do everything centering it around him being at the center and the core of what it is that you're doing, whether it's with your family, in your business. Like, how can you constantly keep God at the center of what it is that you're doing? And quite frankly, in this space as a leader, if you're entering the online world, it can be challenging because there's so much other narrative and dialogue thrown at you all day long around, what it means to be a success, what it means to accomplish, what it means to be fulfilled. And you hear so many income claims and money claims and how much everybody's making. And it's easy to make you feel like you're not succeeding or you're not thriving or you're not there. And that leads to that feeling of not feeling fulfilled, or like you're doing good enough, or you're doing the work God wants you to do. And I had to come to realize, I know for me personally, I really had that battle with the money aspect of it for a long time in this industry, because it's just in your face all the time. And I noticed it a lot and just kind of came to realize I had to define what success was going to look like for me and what it meant for me to be a success. And it was more than money. It was more than accolades. It was more than achievements. And as we go through Proverbs 31, it talks about all the different facets of who you are as a woman, not just being a success in one area of our life or only being a mom, and this is something it's perfect timing, Molly. I had this conversation with my daughter last night because she's really battling right now with feeling this lack of self-worth, this lack of confidence, because she's struggling in school, like academically. And it's challenging for her because she has a brother who's GATE, honor roll, like knocking it out of the park, but it doesn't come as easy to her. And so it's constantly like working on, allowing yourself to know who you are, what your strengths are, even knowing your weaknesses, but then really, if it's something that you want to do, if there's something you want to do that you struggle in, I was telling her last night, I said, you have to see it before you see it. You have to see yourself there. And visualize what it is that you really want and imagine yourself having that already. God gave us this incredible gift of imagination. And I feel like a lot of times we use it in the wrong direction. We use it to paint worst case scenario. We use it to paint doubt and fear and all of these things that hold us back from what God's really wanting us to step into. And so, through her, I was sharing this process of like, what would it look like for you to be the student you want to be, not who we want you to be? Because I know a lot of times as parents, of course, we want our kids to be straight A students and, accomplishing all the things, but also understanding who you are or who your child is. And my daughter's a lot like me. We're very creative. We're social. We're very much on that other spectrum of, we like to do a lot of different things. And academics are not like our favorite part. But we still get to show our character and turn working on time and study and do the things. And it might take a little extra effort in certain areas of your life than it would for other people. You might be building a business right now and you feel like it's going a lot slower, or you have a friend that like all of a sudden it just is working for them. And you just have to remember you're on your own journey and God has you where he needs you to be for you to learn what it is that you need to learn. And, I really I've had to learn to like let go of that. I think there was a season where you and I both, Molly, went through that, where it's like we have to let go of outcome. We have to let go of result. We have to let go of where we have our agenda and start paying attention to what God's agenda is and what his will is, and say, I really trust, like, I don't want to take another step if it's not in your will, and sometimes we don't know, I know a lot of times there's that, oh my gosh, is this what God wants me to do? Is this the next thing he has planned for me? And you'll know quickly if it's not, that's the great thing. It's like, he's not going to fall away or disappear from our lives if we end up going in the wrong direction or not in a way that he wanted us to, but he will make it known to us eventually that, hey, let's reroute, or let's come over here and pivot. So
Yeah, that's so
yeah.
good. And that's something, Jen, that I think a lot of us struggle with from time to time, or maybe it's often, balancing like all of the desires in our heart. Like the mom heart is so complex and so multifaceted, and we care about so many things. And especially if you're kind of a driven woman, wanting to see things happen. So I was just wondering if you could maybe share a little bit, like some of that struggle for you, maybe when you worked through a time that you felt maybe pulled in different directions, and when you had to lay something down, or kind of how God worked in your life in that way. And just this elusive thing of balance, because I think we talk about wanting balance all the time. And is it really possible to have balance? Or what way have you found that, that is something that's congruent with your faith and what God's asking you to do, and also with your own dreams and desires?
Yeah, that's a great question. As Proverbs 31 shows us, we can be multiple things.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes what happens as women is we box ourselves in. And it's like, but I'm a mom, or I'm too busy doing this thing over here, so I can't do this other thing. And I was kind of meditating on that a second before I got on here, because I noticed that people are like, how do I find this balance between all of these things? I think what's really helped me is I've always allowed myself to put myself first in a lot of areas. I think when we become moms, it's like, of course we put our kids first, and of course we want for them and we make them a priority, but you also get to make yourself a priority. It gets to be a both and I think sometimes we think it's either or. And so I've always been really good at putting myself as a priority and not feeling guilty about it, because I'm a human too. I have needs too. I have desires too. And those don't just go away because I became a mom.
Yeah.
And so it's a great example recently, I'm a musician. My husband's a musician. That's how we met. I used to do it a lot more before having kids. I was full-time in the music world. We would, sing at Disneyland and corporate events and all this kind of stuff. And it was so fun. And I was okay with releasing that when I had kids, because I was in a season of mom and like nurturing, and I didn't have the same desire to go out and be on stage and be singing at clubs and whatever. Like I wanted to be home with my kids. So, but recently, now that they're in their teen years, they don't really want to hang out with mom as much. They want to go be with their friends. And I find myself being, my husband still is a musician. So on the weekends, he's gone a lot. Like he's always, that's his work time is on the weekends. And so I'd find myself at home, like alone, sitting. And I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, why do I sit here? Why not get back into music? Why not go back to doing the thing that I loved doing?
Wow.
So I started a new band. We have our first gig in May. And it's like really, I don't know where it's going to go. I don't have all the answers. Like, I just threw it together. We're doing the gig. I don't know where our next gig is, but like, I just knew I wanted to get out of the house. I wanted to go do a thing that God gave me a skill set to do, and I'm not utilizing it. So I think there's always seasons in life, and you gotta not let seasons turn into ruts of like, oh, this is just life and how it is now. This is just how life's gonna be. Life changes. Life throws so many different things at us. I'm getting ready to make another very huge change that I am terrified about, but I haven't actually like fully committed, but I'm pretty much 99% there. And it's taking a look, and I think as we go through seasons of like, I'm getting ready to turn 40, I think I'm going through another season of like transition and like, okay, what do I want my life to look like for this next decade? Where do I want to be? What do I want to be doing? Is this making me happy? Like what do I need to let go of? It's almost like cleaning out your closet. It's like, okay, I've had these clothes. Like, what do I need to release? What do I want to add into my life? And constantly being aware that it can change and evolve, and you're not a tree. Like you can move, you can pivot, you can shift. So
Good. Wow.
yeah.
Thank you. That really hit home. I wrote that down. Don't let seasons turn into ruts. I think that's really a good word.
Yeah.
So when we were first talking, there were a couple of verses we were talking about. So I wondered if you had any thoughts about those, and I want to read them. I have 18 and 19.
Yes.
That kind of what you were looking at too.
Yes.
It says, she sees that her trading is profitable and her lamp does not go out at night. In her hand, she holds the distaff and grabs the spindle with her fingers. So like, what does that mean to you? Is there anything that you want to share about those couple of verses?
Yeah. And you had 18 and 19.
I think so. Is that what you put down?
I added 7. I thought it was 17, 18, but that's okay. I'll add 17 in there.
Yeah, 17 is good too.
Yeah, 17 really hits home for me. She is energetic and strong, a hard worker.
Yeah.
I truly believe energy makes and breaks everything. We are energy, and I'm not a woo-woo person, but just we are made up of molecules of energy. And so it's truly doing whatever you do, because I think a lot of times people are looking for the answer or but how do I do this or how do I do that? Energetically, like do it with a good energy. If you're going to go live, be energetic about it. If you're going to do the dishes, be energetic about it. You can bring whatever energy you want to whatever it is that you're doing. And that energy has a way of giving you either a good experience or a bad experience. It's just all how you go into doing something. And I'm a very big believer in doing things that are energetically a 10 for you. If it's not energetically a 10 for you, why do it? And I get like, there's going to be moments in our life where we get to do things that aren't our favorite thing to do, but they're very like maybe I have to make an eye doctor appointment. Like that's not the highlight of my day, but I get to go do that. And I'm really excited because I'm like, I'm at a point where I need contacts. I can't see so there is a part of it where I'm like, yes, I get to be excited about making an eye doctor appointment, even though I don't want to go through the process. So I think that when you just step into whatever work you're doing, even if you're like, I don't know if this is the right thing exactly yet. I don't know if this is where I'm supposed to be, but do it like passionately or do it excited, do it with that energetic, strong vibe of being being who you get to be to create the thing you want to create, because that's what it's really about. Like, if you want to create anything, you have to be it first, and that's where like that word energetic really stood out to me. And, be willing to do the hard work. I think that that's something that gets really easily diluted when you become your own boss or start your own business, because you're calling your own shots and you start to entitle yourself a little bit, or think, I don't need to do that, or I can do that whenever I feel like it. You start to lose your discipline muscle. That's partly why I'm so nervous to go into this next phase of what I'm doing, because I'm like, I'm no longer going to be just me. Like, it's going to involve like a lot of discipline. And so I'm like, I got to build that muscle up again, because I'm so used to just running my own thing and calling my own shots and doing what I'm doing, and I still get to do that. But in this context of everything else I'm stepping into, it's going to be a lot of discipline. And so I think when you discipline yourself to do, and one thing I always say is, I can do hard things. Discipline yourself to do hard things, because you can do them. They might be hard, but they get easier as you do them too. So it's allowing yourself to work for what you want. And at the same time, I like to say it also gets to be easy. It gets to be, how can you make it as stress-free as possible, or not put so much pressure on yourself? Or I like to focus more on the action and the activity than the result or the outcome. If I'm just energetically excited to create and do the thing that I do, and make the invitations that I make to people, and serve people where I get to serve them, I just get to trust that God's going to produce the harvest to that. Like, it's not my business. I'm not in the business of producing my own results, in the sense that like I have control over them, because we don't have control over, all the results in our life. We have control over the action we take. We reap what we sow. So we have control over the sowing. But, a tree will never be like, oh, I hope I produce more apples today. Like, of course it's going to produce. It's a tree. That's what it does. Like, if you just do the thing you're born to do, it will produce. It will bring the fruit.
That's so good.
Yeah.
So like oftentimes, in leadership, we're going a direction, and then something happens, like life happens. And, often you set out to do something, maybe have, an action plan, and then this thing comes and interrupts it. And so I know like you've had some challenges too the last couple of years.
Yeah.
In your health. And I just wanted to ask if you would mind sharing a little bit about that, because I think we get tripped up so easily when we, have a direction we're going, and then boom, something blindsides us. And like, how do you keep going as a woman of faith, and yet needing to take care of yourself, like you mentioned, putting yourself first, but not totally dropping the ball and just being like all or nothing. I think you've managed, I've seen you, navigate this well. So is there something you can share with us?
Yeah,
about that?
there's days where it's really challenging. So I was a gestational diabetic with my children. And from there, when you have that, you're very high risk for diabetes type 2. So when my son turned 4, that was 2015, I became type 2. I was diagnosed type 2 diabetic. However, I don't think I was ever really a type 2 diabetic. In 2020, I was critically ill. 2021, I got critically ill with COVID. And through that process, because I had diabetes, it was very severe. And once I was healed from that, I went and saw my endocrinologist it was a new endocrinologist for me. And she said, you are not type 2, you're type 1. So she very much said it that way. And I was like, that's a lot to take in. So, because it now basically turns from being a thing that could be manageable and like you're insulin free, to now I have an autoimmune disorder and I am insulin dependent for the rest of my life. And so that was a huge change. And, it caused weight gain. It caused it wasn't like a lot changed, but mentally it did, I think, just to know that I'm forever going to deal with this. And so And then on top of that, it just became incredible. Like I have healthy people's health insurance. So um, it's astronomically a cost to be able to just take care of my body at this point. And so, I think a lot of like when things like that happen, it's like I feel like, okay, this is another way God can build my character. I look at the things that I'm grateful for about it, because when I was pregnant and gestational, I was pricking my fingers 5 times a day, like doing the whole thing. And now there's so much technology and tools and supplies available to where I don't have to do that. I'm getting ready to get onto like a wireless pump and all these amazing things that are going to make it a lot more manageable and keep me healthy. So I just kind of look at life challenges. In James it says life will give you trials for a little while, but it's not forever. And there's always a level of faith to grow in those moments. And I don't look at hard times anymore as like a victim or like this is happening to me. I look at like what's God trying to teach me through this? Like what is he wanting me to learn? What is he preparing me for? Like I feel like when there's these heavy seasons of change and transition, it's like I feel like he's preparing something greater, and I just have to stick it out and know that he's with me and not have like just let go of worry. I've really learned to let go of worry and practice contentment and being okay with where I'm at. And like really like because of that, that's what's had me really rethinking my whole situation of like where I'm at, what I'm doing, and what gets to be next at the same time. So yeah, I don't I don't let like whatever's happening in life take me captive. Like I have more like as a Proverbs 31 woman, I'm capable of handling multiple things, good and bad, and spinning them together and seeing what God can bring out of it.
Mm. Oh, that's
Yeah.
so powerful.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, we don't have to be victims. And to
Mhm.
me, that's what that word strength means. It doesn't mean that we're like always on top. There might be times that you are struggling, but like going through with that overcoming spirit. Um, and when we were talking about this, this live, you mentioned like, being ready for the battle. And
Mhm.
so are there any non-negotiables that you have in your life that, that you've used to be ready for the battle, or that you would share with someone, a woman who's in leadership and wants to equip herself for what's coming?
I just think getting into scripture, getting into God's word, like really being able to like let the scriptures needed come to you at the right time. Even in this moment, I was thinking one of the verses that drives me crazy. It's like, count it as joy when you face many trials. It's like sometimes I think God has such a sense of humor. I'm like, yeah, this is super fun. So but being able to recite, and especially for your children, if you're a parent, like it was nice to be able to talk with my daughter last night and be able to give her and feed into her actual verses of what she gets to think about herself rather than what she's telling herself. And so the more equipped you are with scripture and just knowing, feeding your mind actual truth rather than allowing your inner dialogue to run the show all day, is going to be your biggest weapon against anything that comes at you, for sure.
So good. Yeah, that's
Mm.
so good.
Yeah.
Um, do you have any like final words that you would say to the women who are watching or might be watching the replay about how to, step into that place of, not being overwhelmed and being able to give yourself an attitude adjustment and all of these things that this woman carries, that she can laugh at the future and be joyful in trials. Um,
Yeah, there's a verse I used to hang next to my desk. It's Colossians 3:12. It says, God gives us the power to do whatever comes our way with a good attitude. And so that's a verse that I've always held close when I felt like, okay, I need an attitude adjustment. I think just self-awareness, like really knowing who you are, um, and not letting outside circumstances define that for you. Like, what do you really want? What is it that, you're excited about? And not having to force it or try to convince yourself, like, oh no, I really want to be doing this when you don't. Um, I think it's important that you sit with yourself and learn yourself, get to know yourself, love yourself, um, focus on, I don't think it's always unicorns and rainbows all the time, but I think that when you can accept the things about yourself, like I've accepted I'm a type 1 diabetic, I've accepted the things that are going to be that are not my necessarily like my favorite thing, but I've learned to embrace them and love myself through it, so learning to really love yourself, giving yourself grace through a lot of what you're going through, and allowing, knowing that like growth doesn't happen overnight, it takes time. Building your character doesn't happen overnight, and if you haven't noticed, God's never in a hurry. It's like, he'll wait. So not pressuring yourself or forcing yourself to try to change, but allowing that change to happen organically. I focus on daily bread. I'm not a big like, oh my gosh, I need to know 10 years what things are going to look like. I do think about like, okay, you know, where where do I see like this next chapter of my life? Like, what do I really want to focus on
Mhm.
now to build for the next chapter of my life? But I'm not so much about putting so much pressure on having 10, 20-year goals. I'm definitely more about, being in the present moment, embracing the present moment, and seeing ahead what I want, but then really coming back to now and thinking, okay, what do I do to start building towards that? So,
That's good.
yeah.
That's good. Jen, how can, someone follow you or get more information about what you're doing, how to work with you? I know you've got a lot of different, tools and things that help with a lot of what we talked about.
Yeah. I'm on Instagram, Jen, what is it? Jen Johnson dot official. And same thing I'm on TikTok, I'm on Facebook. So you can connect with me there. I do have a private community called Content Creator Studio Unplugged that you can plug into. And yeah, if you're someone that is like, you know what, I really want to use social media to project my mission and my message and to really start working with the people that you want to work with, I can work with you on putting together the content, the strategies, the messaging to make that possible. And I do that in different capacities. It could be through sessions, it could be through content days, it could be through, consulting. So yeah, I just like to meet people where they're at. I can't really particularly say there's this one way that I would help you. It would just be a matter of where you're at and what I see that would definitely benefit you, in terms of how we would work together in what capacity. So,
That's
yeah,
great. Well, we'll put some info in the comments after this talk is over if someone wants to
perfect.
reach out and connect with
Yeah,
you. So
perfect.
thank you
I'm
so
so
much.
grateful to be here.
Yeah, this was really good and encouraging. Um,
Awesome.
yeah,
Hello, little. She's
a
like
little,
sneaking
he
in.
was doing the leopard crawl.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so grateful for you. And I love what you're doing here. So keep it up.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Okay.
Awesome.
We will we'll do this again.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.